Okay, this video turned out a little bit longer than the first video, but I promise it's worth it. It starts out a little bit all over the place, but towards the end of the video it gets a lot better, and I do get it running at the end. So definitely stick around and enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. I missed this bike, dude. What's up, y'all? Good morning. It's now Tuesday morning. If you haven't seen part one, definitely go check that out, because if you haven't seen it, you're not gonna have any idea what's going on here. So I ordered the parts. Just waiting on them to come in. I could have swore I had a tube of Honda Bond somewhere from the last time I rebuilt it, which Honda Bond is hang on, I'm pulling onto the road. It's gonna be noisy. Never gets old, man. Anyway, Honda Bond 4, it's a gasket maker. It's made specifically for putting Honda engines together. I had some last time I rebuilt it and cannot find it anywhere. So now I gotta drive all the way to my nearest Honda shop, which is in Baton Rouge. So I gotta go get some of that, and then I'll go to the shop and start getting to work. I don't use Rain-X. What are you honestly doing with your life? 60 miles an hour. I don't even need to use the wipers. Got the Honda Bond 4. Give me a grilled cheese burrito and 2 large Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Gotta show the shop owner some appreciation.
Oh, look at you.
All right, so I got the cases all cleaned up. Got this nice and smooth. New transmission soaking in oil. So I'm just gonna throw it all in there and then throw the other case half on it and just make sure it shifts smooth. And then once I do that, then I'll start actually sealing all this and putting it all back together for real. All right, so the new transmission shifts. I had the other half of the case on here and I shifted it. It works neutral, 1 through 5, and reverse all work properly. This is actually the first time y'all have seen the new transmissions. New to me, used, but yeah. Little rusty here and there, but it seems like it works. And it's definitely in better shape than what I was dealing with before. Just about everything on that is all stripped, so. A smooth little bead of Honda Bond along all these surfaces here. Just make sure it seals really nice. Probably not gonna film too much of this, but I'll see what I can do.
2 days later.
All right, so I really haven't been filming much, but I had to take this back apart. Just make sure if you put this back together, that your shifter here lines up with that. Otherwise, it's not going to shift and you're going to have to take it back apart. Also, your neutral indicator, the long end, oh shit, that's wrong. The long end points to the end on the cover, and that your transmission is actually in neutral. And if it is, it'll look something like that right there. Oh, ah. So I'm turning the shifter by hand. You see how it's also turning down here. Always do that before you put your bolts in up top. Make sure it's working right, because then you're gonna have to take it completely back apart like I did. Try to avoid that if you can. Save yourself a lot of heartache. Right, Larry?
Right.
Yeah, so as you could probably tell, I've already put a lot of it back together already. The reason I haven't really been filming it is because it's been quite a disaster. Taking stuff apart is easy, but putting it back together, it really challenges you to make sure you're not forgetting anything and make sure you're putting it back right, because it's easy to rip something apart, but putting it back together, you're like, the reliability of the bike is going to come down to how well you put it back together. I was actually here on Tuesday and I spent the day getting that far, and I've already had to I've already had to take this top cover, or back cover I guess you'd call it, back off a couple times now because I realized I missed something. But yeah, I'm gonna try and film as much of this as I can, but like I said, it's pretty tedious putting it all back together. It's pretty complicated. The bike's sitting out there waiting for this to go back in it. So all right, hopefully I don't have to take that off anymore. And then for the front cover, all the clutches and shift mechanism, and all goes in here. It's pretty much the same thing, just all goes back in the way it came out. By the way, I didn't really show it, but the new transmission is in, and it shifts. I'll show you that now. So that's neutral. First. That's fifth. That's neutral. This is the camshaft, and of course the timing chain. You want to have your crank on top dead center, as far as top as you can get it, so rod is as far up as it'll go. You're gonna take your cam, you're gonna put the chain on it. You'll see this little hole. There's a mark right there. You want this to line up with that when the crank is on top dead center. Kind of wiggle it in there.
That's what she said.
Might have to roll the chain over a tooth or so, while also trying to make sure it's on the sprocket on the crank. Look in there to see if it's getting on that bearing, which it's not. There it goes. Oh, but it came off on this side. But you get the idea. I just got to make sure this lines up with that mark and the crank is at top dead center. Now, don't let it fool you. That might be like that, but then if you look, the crank, well, you can't tell. You'll be able to tell that the crank is not on top dead. Now it is, and now it's like one tooth off. And you don't want that, because if you end up with that, it's not going to run right, or it's going to jump timing and it's going to destroy itself or something. So yeah, once you think you got it, just push the tensioner down on the side it's meant to go on. And that looks good, so we'll keep going.
This guy stinks!
Alright, I didn't film it because it was a shit show, but it's all together. And it's about to go back in here now. Still waiting on the top end parts to come in, but once that comes in, it'll be ready to run. Larry said he wants to see me throw my back out and put this in, so I'm gonna do it. Jeez, I can't get off the bench.
Get it? Work for it. You can do it.
Ow! Just kidding.
Spot for the camera.
Yeah, grab it by the crank. That's a good idea.
Here, wanna try?
Watch, he's gonna make me look like a bitch. See it? Yep, he made me look like a bitch. Yeah, that's why I want to take that out. Drive shaft in there.
Gotta get that back going. Push it back in the back.
Alright, so that was last Thursday. It's Tuesday now. A whole weekend has gone by. All the parts are in now, so we should have it running today. I'm gonna be a little disappointed if we don't have it running today, actually. I've been really bad about filming it for some reason.
This guy stinks!
I got everything else put on. I got it bolted down to the frame. Got the wiring all hooked up. Got the shift cable hooked up. So now it's just a matter of getting the top end on. That's all I was waiting on. I was waiting on the top end parts. They're all here now, so we should be able to get it running today. All right, got some new valve seals. Use this valve spring tool to get the valves off. One thing I noticed is different. This is the Honda seal. This is the one that was on there. It's aftermarket. It's a little taller. So that's the intake done. I'll just do the same thing with the exhaust. Got a new thermostat to go in there, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Alright, so now you see the cylinder's a little weird looking in there. I'm just gonna run this this hone through it a few times just to get it nice and just to clean it up a little bit, really, is all I'm doing. Whoop. And that's all I gotta do. Okay, now this cylinder is ready to go. It's not perfect, but it's better than it was. Nice and smooth in there. That'll give a nice surface for the rings to break in on. And the rings and the cylinder are gonna break themselves in together there. So I'm gonna reuse this piston, even though it's not the best shape, but it'll last me a while. I got some brand new rings to go on it.
Now me and the mad scientist gotta rip apart the block and replace the piston rings you fried.
Okay, now rings, this is your oil ring. It's got this little brass piece and then the two thin ones. You can put them on however you want, just as long as you put this on first. See? So that goes on there first. And then these go on pretty much however you want. I usually do the bottom one first. Just be very careful, don't stretch the crap out of it. Bottom one's on, now. Now the next one, when I put it on, you see how this one, the gap is right there, so I'm gonna make the gap on this one completely on the other side, just to stagger it, just to help with oil control. It's gonna move around a little bit in there once you run it, but that's it. Now that's on there. Now these, there's a black one and a silver one. The black one is gonna go on the bottom, and the silver one's gonna go on the top. And there's letters on the tops of both of them. The letters are gonna face up, so they're gonna face up like that. Now just be careful not to break these. I hate putting these on. I've broken them before. It's where the gap is on that side. And then the other one I'm gonna put it to where the gap's on this side. And that's it. So the piston's ready to go in. So we're back over here looking at the bike. Before I put the piston on here, I'm going to put the this is the gasket kit, and there's one that goes right there. It's going to seal between the cylinder and the block. So I'm going to put that on there first before I put the piston on. This gasket does have an upside and a downside, so if you put it on wrong, you're not going to get oil pressure to the head, so make sure you put that up there right. And just clean this real good before you put it there. Don't want any dirt causing any leaks. So I grabbed the wrist pin, I was about to put it in, and I noticed, yeah, there's no play on it on the rod, but if you run your finger across there, you can feel you can even see it a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a new one. They sell them at the Honda shop and they're in stock, so I'm going to grab one and then we're gonna come back, and this bike is going to run today, I promise. So we don't have to go to the shop. We have one in stock. Yep, awesome. Look at that. It's smooth. That's done. I would have sent that, but I do plan on probably not using this piston for too long. But I just didn't want to hurt the crank, because then if I would have had to change the crank, I would have had to take all this apart again. And that doesn't look like it has much damage on it yet, so I didn't play it safe. Put a new pin in there. It's a pretty shitty angle, but it's the best angle I can get right now. So. Got some oil here. Take my finger and dip it in there and get this rod nice and soaked. Wipe a little bit of oil on here. Now the piston's gonna go in with the side that's worn facing this way, facing the left side, because that's the side it torques down on. Put the pin on in this side. I make sure this side's open. Okay, hold on. Why is this not? There we go. It's a tight fit. There we go. There it goes. Yep. Take these pliers and just. There we go. It's in there. Now I gotta get the pin in there, the locking pin. Gotta get this in there without dropping it in the case or sending it to space. You heard that? Don't drop it in the case. Don't send it to space. You know what? I'm gonna put a rag so I don't drop it in the case. I'm gonna put a rag in there so I don't have to drop it. Is there a tool or something I could use for this? I'm trying to use fingers and these little pliers.
It's gotta go on the front side, huh?
Yeah. You're on camera right here. See the master mechanic show us how it's done.
Still hard because there's an angle here.
Give it
There it is.
What?
It's in.
Made that look easy.
Just make sure you gotta grab the pin and push it back.
That pin was really stiff going in there.
Good. That's what you want.
Yeah. I had to push it in with some
I heard it click, so it's gonna be good.
yeah.
Alrighty.
Nice. Now I just gotta lube it up and stick it in.
This is the way you do it.
Check the valve clearance. This one was okay, this one was a little tight, so I set them both to a snug 5/1000, and it spins over nice. Put some oil in the crankcase already, just to get it soaking a little bit. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and dress it, and then try to get it running. Everything is on the bike that it needs to run, so I'm gonna move it over there and try to see if it'll start. All right, very first start attempt. Oh my God, like it wasn't, like nothing even happened. Just gonna let it idle for a minute, let everything get some oil pressure through it. Yeah, it sounds perfect. A lot less noisy than it was. Sounds good. I didn't soak the clutches, so that's what we're doing now. He's clutching it in and splashing some oil on it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. So no, the centrifugal clutch ain't hanging up. No smoke whatsoever. It would smoke by now, before. Seems like it's wanting to go kind of hard.
Like idle up kind of high. Can't do anything about that.
So I was putting around on it, and I realized I forgot to put coolant in it because the fan kicked on really early. So we'll go run and grab some coolant for it. And he got problems here too. I don't know what happened with him. Oh, I see what happened. It's a Polaris. All right, now it's got coolant in it. First right now. No, that's second, never mind. We got fourth gear. Just putting it around very easily, just trying to break it all in. Keeping RPMs changing. Don't want to keep it at a constant RPM. Already putting it to work. Trying to save the Polaris. So far it runs perfect. So after that I let it cool off for a good while. Then I ran it again. And I realized the fuel was off, so it wasn't running too good. So then I turned the fuel on, ran it around some more, and it's starting to clear up. So I'm just gonna let it sit a little while longer again, and then I'm gonna get running again. Just trying to put some heat cycles through the cylinder so I can break in those piston rings real nice. But it shifts great, clutch engagement is great, so I'd say it's fixed. Fixing to load it up on the trunk, and it got a misfire. See?
Doing the same thing?
Yeah. I think he likes it. Alright, so the bike is done. We're on our way back. Ignore that check engine light, it's just a catalytic converter. He's got it in the back of the truck. Big thanks to him for letting me use the shop and for bringing the bike back for me. I brought it there with the truck that I had borrowed, but he's bringing it back for me. We're gonna get it home and then ride it around and see how it does. I got the GoPro and I took it for a ride, and I watched the video back and I realized the GoPro was angled down way too much and it was basically looking at my dick. So I'm gonna try that again. Okay, so I'm just trying to get some heat cycles through it. I'm not trying to go too crazy with it, even though I already kind of have a little bit every now and then. The heat cycles are supposed to just break in, you know, help the rings break in real nice. Supposed to get it warm and then let it cool off pretty much completely to ambient temperature and then warm it up again. And then just do that a few times and the rings will break in really well. Now, for some reason, it's got some issue with it right now that it's never had before. It when I first start driving it, it hesitates, like it's not getting fuel, like it's not getting enough fuel. So I don't know if the fuel pump is going bad or if the fuel pump relay is going bad. Well, I've been having problems with that fuel pump relay. Every now and then the fuel pump doesn't kick on at all when I go to start it, and I have to take the relay and tap it on the rack for it to work. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's never had a problem with it hesitating like it's doing. But then it clears up and it's fine. So I'm really not sure what's going on with it, but anyway, let's take this thing for a little ride. I don't have grips at the moment because the ones I had were cheap aftermarket ones and they just fell apart. So I took them off and I got some Honda ones on the way and they just haven't come in yet. So I'm just riding it like this for now. It sounds so much better than it did before. It's not knocking or clinking or anything. I don't know why it was making so much noise. I guess that new wrist pin really helped it out. Let's see if it does that thing where it hesitates. So this is second gear. Okay, well, it didn't do it that time, but there's something going on with the fuel pressure because it's just hesitating every now and then. I missed this bike, dude, and I love bald tires. Again, I'm not trying to go too crazy with it because I'm still trying to baby it until I break it in a little bit. I would take it on the trail, but obviously that's not going to happen right now. I don't have mud tires or a snorkel on this thing at the moment. So that kind of sucks. But go back this way. Alright, so it's neutral. I'm gonna go through all the gears for you here. Shifts a lot better than it did before. It shifts so easily. The one-way clutch is doing a much better job slowing down. Just holds on until it's completely stopped, just like it should. Up here. You guys want to see a wide open pull, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm probably not going to lay on it too hard at first because that's just too much power with these things. But once I hit second, I'm going to lay on it. Alright, here we go. Absolutely flies. No smoke. Doesn't smell like it has smoke either. Doing this job of engine braking. Now there's no smoke coming out there whatsoever. Let's do a little pull across the grass here. Oh, it's swirling. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but it was hesitating a little bit there. There's something going on with the fuel pressure. It's weird. Most of the time it doesn't do it, but every now and then it does. There. Okay, you guys definitely heard that. I know you heard that. What the hell is going on with the fuel pressure? I'm guessing it's a fuel pressure issue. I'm not really sure what it is. It's either a fuel pressure issue or an ignition issue. Might just need a new spark plug. Every now and then it just like hesitates. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the damn fuel pump because there's a Hellcat. Either a Hellcat or a Hemi. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the damn fuel pump because it was dry for a little while. Well, it wasn't dry. Also I did run it with the freaking fuel valve off, so that might have dried it up, and that might have hurt the fuel pump. I don't know. I know I said I'm trying to baby it, but I sure doesn't look like I am, is it? Alright, so I'm in third right now. Installed it. Let's see if it does it. Anyway. Just better bring it home and let it cool off for a little while. We'll probably let it cool off. It's getting dark anyway. Let it sit overnight. Dude, it's so nice having fourth gear. It's like the perfect gear for when you're just kind of coasting along at a low speed. You don't want to like completely lug the engine out. Not having fifth gear, or not having fourth gear, I was having to kick it down into third, have it screaming its ass off, or I'd have to put it in fifth and just kind of go kind of fast. So really nice that I have fifth, or bleh, really nice that I have fourth gear again. Guess now's a good time to show off the lights a little bit. So yeah, so it's pretty much done. I'm just got to figure out what's going on with that fuel pressure issue. Still on the stock, or I say stock, whatever these are. Still on those tires. You've probably seen these if you're familiar with the channel, like at all. Got these 26s with these much prettier looking wheels, and I will put those on. I almost put them on tonight, but I kind of just want to run it around like this a little while with these, you know, nice small lightweight tires on it, just to get a feel for it. Maybe after I fix the fuel pressure issue, I'll put them on, but it looks so good with those other ones on. It just runs so much better with these on it. And after having to rebuild the transmission like I just did, I kind of want to do everything I can to keep it from destroying itself again. And the stock tires are really light and make this thing really nimble. And the bald tires on the back make it so much fun to slide around in the grass. So they'll go back on one day, but not just yet. And I haven't seen what it looks like with the lights on or with those tires yet. But hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know. Give me a like, do whatever. I'm not going to sit there and ask you to subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel. I really need the support. I'm not going to do that shit. So, yeah, I film these videos because they're fun, and I just enjoy editing, and I enjoy working on stuff, and I really enjoy the four-wheeler. So this is just me, you know, doing kind of stuff I like to do. So, and I don't know why, but for some reason you guys like the car videos so much more than the four-wheeler stuff, but I don't care. I'm going to keep doing this kind of stuff. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to just shut up. Hope you guys have a good night or morning or whatever it is. Thanks for watching.